So, YouTube, do you ever feel like maybe you were born the wrong way? Like maybe your vision isn't necessary. Maybe you were meant to be blind, so you decided to go into your bathroom and pour draining cleaner into your fucking eyes. Yeah, me neither, but apparently that is a thing. There's a condition called BiID, called Body Integrity Identity Disorder, and there's this chick, there's a story from 2015 that has resurfaced. There's this chick who claims to be transblind, or they're labeling it as transblind, whatever the case. Either way, she felt like she was destined to be blind, and she fucking put draining cleaner into her goddamn eyes to self-blind herself. I am just taken away. How was this just now, like, resurfacing and becoming popular? Why did I not hear about this in 2015? This is some of the most wild fucking bullshit I have ever heard in my life, and we've talked about some crazy shit on this channel. A woman with perfect sight claimed she identified as a blind person and felt like that was just who she was supposed to be. She labeled herself as transblind and began living her life as if she was without sight. The North Carolina woman says, when there's nobody around you that feels the same way, you start to feel like you're very crazy. She continued, I don't think I'm crazy. I think I have a disorder. Is it really a disorder if you are aware of it, though? Like, if you're doing something crazy and you're like, well, I'm doing this crazy act because of this disorder that I think I have, can you really blame the disorder for that anymore? Like, it's more of a disorder when you're aware. Like, typically the people who are actually insane or crazy aren't really aware of it. In their head, they're doing the right thing, right? They think that what they're doing is okay. She's aware that she might have a disorder, and this might be why she's blinding herself. So, like, can you really blame it on that? She literally claims that she felt the need to go blind. So with the help of a psychologist, she did. She used drain cleaner, dropping it into each eye because it does a lot of damage. Upon waking up and realizing she still had her sight after dropping the chemicals in, she claims that she was extremely upset. However, she slowly lost her vision over the course of the next 6 months. Now that's actually the end of that article. There's a couple short articles about this, and then there's some kind of lengthy articles quoting things about her and shit like that. But why read over those articles when there's actually a fucking video about this?
When there's nobody around you that feels the same way, you start to think that you're just very crazy. I don't think I'm crazy. I think I have a disorder.
Bruh, that shit is straight out of a fucking, like, horror movie, dude. This shit, like, you can see, if you look, that left eye right there, you can see that some shit is fucked up underneath. That she goddamn melted her goddamn eyeball or something. I don't know, this shit is fucking crazy.
BiID means that you have a need to be disabled in some way. In my case, it was a need to go blind.
Look, I don't want to go in too hard on this chick just because, like, I don't know the ins and outs of this disorder. It doesn't sound very real to me, but it may very well be. And she may have other mental issues with her, and I don't feel too good roasting like somebody who might be mentally handicapped. But let's be fucking honest, there's never a need to go blind.
I found that lye is very painful, although it does get the job done. I found that drain cleaner is a little less painful, although it does a lot of damage to the eye.
Well, now I'm glad to know the different kind of chemicals and shit I can put into my fucking eyeballs and which one is a little less painful. I'm glad to know that drain cleaner is the better option. And who'd have thought that it did a lot of damage to your eye? You know, the shit that you put down your drain that will literally eat through fucking just about anything and get rid of most of your drain problems whenever you have the shit clogged up or whatever. Who knew that this would go into your fucking eye and destroy everything?
She found a psychologist willing to help her, and after 2 weeks of working together to make sure she was ready, they carried out Jules' plan.
Hold the fuck up real quick. You're telling me that she met this psychologist and all it took was about 2 fucking weeks and he was ready to help her pour drain cleaner into her goddamn eyes? How was this? For one, I was wondering this whenever I first kind of read about this story. How is this legal? Like, I know it's not the same thing. Like, if you help somebody kill themselves, help somebody do a suicide, as it were, that's illegal, obviously. You're helping somebody die. And this isn't the same thing as that, but how is this not illegal? You're helping somebody, like, wouldn't it be illegal to, like, help somebody break their fucking leg intentionally, break their arm intentionally, blind themselves intentionally? Like, I don't get it.
I laid down on the sofa, and he sat next to me. Dropped 2 drops into each eye. My eyes were screaming. I had some drain cleaner going down my cheek, burning my skin. In the moment, All I could think of was, I'm going blind, it's gonna be okay.
Even if I think BiID is a bullshit sounding disorder in my head anyway, just because I've never heard of it, there's clearly something fucking wrong with this chick. Because if some guy is dropping drain cleaner into your fucking eyes, I can't imagine the amount of excruciating pain that would entail. But she claims that in the moment, all she could really think about was, yay, I'm finally going blind. Fuck no, bitch. I'd be throwing hands at the psychologist even if I wanted to do it. That shit would fucking hurt.
I first developed the idea that I need to be blind when I was around 6 years old. I was told by my mother that if I looked into the sun, I'd go blind, and so I stared into the sun for hours on end.
Now, see, to me, that doesn't sound like it's some sort of disorder. It doesn't sound to me like it's something that she felt like she was born to be blind. It just sounds like some shit that happened in her childhood that she just kind of never let go of. She was, as a kid, you're very easily influenced, maybe. Maybe that's not the right way of saying that, but you interpret things differently as a child. So when your mom tells you look in the sun, if you look in the sun too long, you go blind, and you just kind of do that as a kid, and you just kind of continue that habit. You're just going to have that in your adult life. Like, it's not, I think she just misinterpreted something as a fucking kid and turned it into this bullshit. It's kind of like adults that pick their nose and eat it. Like, pretty much everybody picks their nose as a kid, but some people continue doing that up until their adulthood. And my guess is she just kind of did this, and as she got older, she learned about a disorder called BiID, and just kind of rolled with that. That's my guess.
Thinking about being blind made me feel comfortable. I was blind simming, which is pretending to be blind.
I understand why she was faking being blind, like before she ever did it to herself. Obviously, she was probably walking around with the cane, the dark glasses, and acting blind in public because she wanted to be blind. But it's kind of a fucked up situation when you think about it, because people were probably holding doors open for her. If she was trying to like walk across the street, for instance, people were probably screaming out to her and shit. And what if she had people who were obviously driving her around, like parking in handicap zones and taking advantage of that shit? Like, there's no telling what all she did when she was faking being blind. It just seems kind of like a fucked up situation.
As extreme as Jules' case sounds, she is not alone. Dr. Michael First is a leading expert on the condition. He even coined the term BiID to describe it.
A lot of people who have this just live with it, but they don't take that step of actually actualizing it.
I found that bit kind of interesting because he said that a lot of people who have this don't actually go through with disabling themselves. They just kind of live with the notion that they need to be disabled or want to be disabled, but they don't actually go through with disabling themselves. So it makes it even more extreme, the fact that she actually went through with this process and the way she went about it by pouring fucking drain cleaner into her fucking eyes. Like, it just makes it more like she blames it, oh, I think I have a disorder, but it's like, really, people who have this disorder that you think exists don't even go through with what you did. So it's like, it's more of a single case as opposed to some massive disorder that just a bunch of people seem to have.
The ethics of whether it is okay to take a normal person and make them disabled is, I think you could make it an ethical case that if you conceptualize this as treating a condition, then it's okay to do it.
Just so we're clear, that guy's trying to make the argument that pouring drain cleaner into somebody's eyes to blind them is a form of treatment for a condition. In case you didn't grasp what he was trying to say there, he's trying to argue this as treatment. How does he still have a job? I don't get it. I don't give a fuck if you try to argue this as the ethics of this as being a treatment of some condition. It doesn't make any fucking sense that you're allowed to do this. You're allowed to get away with disabling somebody intentionally just because they want to. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
The big fear, of course, is somebody goes ahead and gets an amputation or becomes disabled and then changes their mind. I like to encourage people to do what makes sense to make them feel better, but this is such a drastic move that it's hard to encourage.
Now, what he's talking about there is true. The biggest issue really is somebody doing something to themselves that is not reversible. It's irreversible. Like, and from what I've seen on the articles that I've read, that what she did to her eyes is irreversible. She cannot ever get her vision back, which she may not want to, but who cares? But what I want to focus on is the fucking video from that. The biggest issue with this for me is the fact that she did this to herself. She wanted this to happen. She wanted to be blind, but really the burden's on everybody else, because as you watch, there's a guy guiding her around, helping her walk places, driving her places. This was such a greedy thing for her to do, because now she can't really do anything without the help of somebody else, and she's just kind of become a burden on people. Like, it's a completely different scenario if you had an accident and went blind, or if you were born blind, but you waited till your adult age and you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to be blind and I'm going to have somebody's going to have to help me, and they don't have a choice in the fucking matter. It just seems super fucking selfish.
Hey Joel, how's it going?
Oh, hi, Alan. Does this affect our friendship at all?
No, actually, I want to thank you for sharing it with me. I think it's a really inspiring story, actually, because you've overcome a lot here.
Whoa, hold the fuck up. Did my dude just go in for a fucking handshake? Did this just happen?
You've overcome a lot here.
So what that was is she's telling her friend for the first time that she is the one who blinded herself. So what I gather from that is that this whole time her friends, her other blind friends and people in her life, she's been lying to them about how she got blind or something, because for this documentary at least, she's telling them for the very first time. So is she a piece of shit? It kind of sounds like it to me. How long has she been lying to these people about how she got blind? Anyways, that's all we really need to talk about this topic, man. This shit is fucking wild. Somebody on my Facebook shared this article. It's kind of how I learned about this. I didn't know what I expected, but I seen the Transblind in the title, and like the title of the article was something along the lines of her damaging her eyes to make herself blind because she felt like she identified as a blind person. So I didn't know really what to expect when I got into the article. I've been putting it off on a few days. I hadn't read the article yet. I just had a screenshot saved on my phone. I've been waiting to do this video, and I can say I'm not disappointed. I just don't know really how to feel. It's just fucking crazy. It's about the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard, if I'm completely honest with you guys. And in my completely honest opinion, I just feel like it's a selfish act, because when she did it, she became a burden on everybody in her life because she has to be driven around, they have to guide her places and stuff. Of course, a blind person can like travel and things by themselves because they have the walking stick and everything like that, but you can't drive to locations and all that, so you can't go grocery shopping by yourself, really. So it just seems, like she became a burden on everybody's life. Maybe they're cool with it. I just think it's a selfish act. So, as always, let me know your thoughts below on this one, especially. This shit is crazy. Do you identify as transblind? Do you want your boy, apparently these doctors are cool with it, do you want me to pour some fucking cleaner into your eyes, guys? If you need me to break your leg, snap your neck, whatever the case, hit your boy up in the DMs. I'll help you identify as trans broken leg, whatever the case. Anyways, if you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter, links to my social networks are in the description. And in the outro. Later, guys.
If somebody's out there with the same feelings as I have, I would say
England is my city. Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake, 'cause I don't fucking care.